Hi, Kara Barnard here. Today we are going to be learning my arrangement of Annie's Song by John Denver. First thing I'm going to do is play the whole thing up to speed for you using the simplest chord forms, and I'm going to sing it so that you can play along with me. When we get to the second page where your lead tablature kicks in, I'm going to stay on the chords and allow you to pick the melody over my chords, okay? Remember, you can go to karabarnard.com to pick up a hard copy of this or simply request a hard copy of this. That's Kara with a K. All right, let's go ahead and jump on it. I'm not going to use my metronome on this first round, and I'm going to play the simplest beginner version of the chords and the intro and the outro. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Here's the third time. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come let me love you, let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms, let me lay down beside you, let me always be with you. Come let me love you, come love me again. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Bum, ba, da, dum, bum, bum. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G, A. Here's the vocal. Let me give my life to you. Come let me love you. Come love me again. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You fill up my senses. This is the first verse. Like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Here's our coda. Okay, let's talk about what we've just done. I did that without a metronome and up to full speed so that you could play along. At that tempo, your tablature on the second page is going to sound about this fast. Let's see, I was going about bum, ba, da, 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 bum. So we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Let me give my life to you. Okay, that's how fast that tablature would have needed to have been played to keep up with that version I did for you at the very beginning of the video. So let's break this down. I've given you two options for intros and outros. They're identical. The intro and the outro are exactly the same. Also, let me add that this is the same key that John Denver originally recorded this in. So when you learn this, word for word, repeat for repeat, coda by coda, everything is going to match up exactly like his version. So you can play this right along with him, including the instrumental version, or the instrumental section there on page 2. All right, so let's talk about these intro outros. The basic intro outro that you're going to use is you're playing your dum da 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 bum diddy diddy boom 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 to you fill up my, and then you come in on that G chord. Okay? All right. Now, when you play the outro, what you will have done is you will have played all of page 1 and all of page 2 until you get down to where it says repeat verse 1. You go back to you fill up my senses. Now, when you get down there, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 lines down in the lyric part, fill me you're going to see a coda mark, okay? A coda sign. That means jump from there to the outro on page 2, okay, in which you're going to play exactly the same thing you played for the intro. All right, that is that version of the intro outro. The more advanced version of the intro outro is the second version I've given you, where you're playing a 7/9 and a 7/10. So let's get those right. So 7/9 and 7/10. You're going to lock that 7 in place and just move. I'm using my index finger on my 9 and my 10 like this. Okay? See how I'm doing that? Now the timing on that is 1, 2, and 3, and 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 1, 2. You fill up my... Okay? Now, if we play that as fast as it needs to be played, it's going to sound like this. I missed it. You fill up my... Now, in this case, I am really paying attention to my pick direction. You know, you hear me talk about pick direction, and when you start playing something super fast, excuse me, sometimes it matters which way you're doing your pick. It just so happens what I'm doing on this intro is I'm going away, away, back. Let me get the right note. Away, away, back, away, back, away, way back, way back, way back, way back. Let me exaggerate my right hand for you so you can see the movement. Now what you need to do is do exactly what I'm doing, maybe even slower. You'll also notice that I'm hitting that first melody note open a little bit harder and making sure I let it ring. Let me speed it up. Always when you practice, you should practice as slowly as you can stand to practice, and then slowly speed it up. Don't speed it up as fast as I'm speeding it up now. Okay? All right. That's your intro and your outro. Now for you advanced students, you've got 2 options for what you're going to do to each one of these chords. You can do a boom, diddy, diddy for every chord on these pages. Or you could do arpeggios. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Right now I'm doing exactly the same pattern that I did on the advanced intro. Away, away, back, way back, away, way back, away back. Now that counts for 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and... Now if I did that on my verses up to speed, it would sound like this. If I start on my G chord, you fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like a mountain in springtime. Like that, okay? So that moves a lot. You could also try fingerstyling. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Now we've got 3 beats per measure, so let's talk about what that fingerstyle pattern would look like if you did it. It would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... I'm going away with my thumb, back with my middle, back with my index, and away with my thumb again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and I forgot to bring my thumb pick over, but I think I can make it loud enough. Let's start on the You Fill Up My G chord senses, and I'll show you what that would sound like. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain. Okay? All right, I'm a little lopsided without my thumb pick on there. I'm used to having my thumb pick knock that melody string for me. Once again, to practice this right hand technique, you would need to go really slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then go to another chord that you've got in here. Okay? So practice that over and over and over again. All right, let's talk about the tablature on the second page. Always you're going to hear me preach to leave fingers down for as long as you can leave them down. Let notes ring for as long as you can let them ring, okay? Anytime you hear a choppiness in your arrangement when you're playing a song and the notes cut off really fast and there seems to be an uncomfortable, awkward space between them, chances are, not always, but chances are, there is a string or two that you could have let stay right, a finger where you could have let stay right where it was, or an open string that you could have stayed away from, and you could have let that note ring into the next note that you're about to play. That fills in and smooths out all that choppiness that some of you hear. When you hear me play, a lot of times you think that there's a big difference between what I'm doing and what you're hearing yourself do. And for you advanced students, I'm going to guess here, and it's probably a pretty safe guess, that 90% of the time it's because I'm doing that whole thing that I'm always preaching to, where I'm leaving things down and letting them ring for as long as I can, okay? When I did the competition and I practiced those measures over and over and over again like I've talked to you about, a lot of times it was all about keeping pressure and making sure I didn't let any of those notes get cut off too soon, all right? I was a stickler about that kind of stuff for myself, and it makes a big difference, it really does. All right, so there's going to be a couple of awkward moments in this tablature that I might not be able to leave things down, but let's see what happens. And let's try it at about 76. I am going to turn the metronome. Now when you come out of the lyric, you're going to hear, love me again, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And that's where it comes in. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and we'll hit that pickup note into our instrumental version. You'll have to excuse me, I raked leaves all day yesterday and I've got a little bit of allergy reaction going on. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And let me talk you through that. I'll turn the metronome off. I'm going to talk you through every time I'm trying to leave a finger down so you really see what I'm talking about. I'm going to count 1, 2, and then come in this time. Okay? 1, 2. Everything's staying down there. Leaving my 1 down. Leaving my 2 down. Leaving my 1s down. Sliding up when I leave my 3 down. See how many times you see a finger not move at all, that it's depressed? Right there was a slightly awkward moment. I slide up to my 3s, leave that bass string down. Here's going to be a shift. See how I'm leaving those down? let's talk about that. This is the third line down in your tablature, starting at the second measure. You're hitting an A, but it's placed, you've got a 1 and a 2, and then an X saying, hey, do not strike that melody string when you strum that. So you hit those two. Keep your eye on my middle finger. I'm going to do that one more time for you. This finger right here, through those 4 or 5 measures, never moves. Watch again. Actually, it's 4 measures. So we start on the third measure of the third line down. Watch this finger right here. This one right here. Okay? Let me try it again. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Practice moves like that. Every time you get a new piece of tablature from me, or any book that you're reading through, or any other instructor's tablature, really take it slowly. See how many times is it necessary to move a finger? See how many times you can leave a finger exactly in the spot that you put it in. How often you're going to leave it down, and then you're going to come back and it's going to be right where you needed to leave it to begin with, okay? Pay attention to those kind of things. Those are the kind of things that are going to make you sound like a champion dulcimer player, as opposed to a really good dulcimer player that is not totally satisfied with the tone and the flow of your pieces that you're getting, okay? Those are those details that will really make you a lot happier if you're hearing yourself play and thinking there's just something that's not right. Pay attention to that kind of stuff that I just talked about. That'll make a big difference in your playing. All right, I hope you enjoy this song. Again, you can go to karabarnard.com to request the hard copy tablature for this. And you can play right along with John Denver, same key and everything. Okay, thanks so much for watching my videos and for hanging out for me. Bye-bye.